In a previous video, I did a comparison of two different mercenaries for the TeslaDin. The first was the original one that I made in the build guide video, which is linked down in the description below. This mercenary was focused more on survivability over additional damage. The second one was the recommended Holy Fire mercenary to have dual pulse damage. Video linked down in the description below. To continue to help demonstrate the difference in performance between the two mercenaries, since I prior showcased them in regard to farming on Players 8, I wanted to have them be used in another type of endgame content, which is running through the Ubers to be able to get a torch. For this video, I'll be making a few changes to the terrorized TeslaDin to make him more viable for Ubers, such as he'll be using Kingslayer as his weapon over Crescent Moon, as I want him to have higher crushing blow and open wounds. You can additionally also use duress body armor for even more of both. However, since I'm using Enigma, that would mean a complete respec and I'm too lazy for that. However, in the run demonstrations, you'll see that this build doesn't need the overkill. Plus, I want the ability to teleport around for better mobility over using charge. Also, once inside Uber Tristram, I will switch the belt from Arachnid's Mesh to Thunder God's Vigor for the Lightning Absorb against Mephisto to not be one-shotted instantly. My goal is to hopefully have each mercenary live up to at least fighting Mephisto if possible, where, if they perish,
you'd be sad. You wouldn't be shocked.
But ideally, I'd like them to be able to survive the entire run. However, because I want an equal chance for survivability with both mercenary setups, the original mercenary from the build guide video is using Last Wish, which has a life tap proc. So to be able to level the playing field and even it out between them, I'll be using Drax Gloves for the life tap proc with the Holy Fire mercenary setup. Those will be the only changes I'll be making to the terrorized TeslaDin from when it was showcased in his build guide video. Of which, if you want further information on any specifics of the build, again, make sure to check the video out, which will be linked down in the description below. The only pre-buffing will be Demon Limb for the enchant charges to boost our attack rating. Since the build guide video does discuss the build in great detail, I won't be going over the specifics of it here, but I'll give a quick glimpse into the attributes, all three of the different skill trees, all of my character's gear that I'll be using for both mercenary runs. Feel free to pause the video if you wish to get a look at the specific stats. Then there's the additional stats, and now a quick look over of all the mercenaries' gear, as well as his additional stats. With all the formalities now out of the way, let's get into the first mercenaries run to see how well he does. Something that is quite important to note with the setup, some may question, why would it be beneficial to focus on having life tap if the confuse proc would just override it, and vice versa? The reason that can actually play into my favor is because of the two procs. Life tap is the only one that could actually affect the minis and the Ubers. For example, if life tap procs and it affects any of the Ubers and their minions, then confuse procs, I'd still get the life tap proc from the Uber, while all of the minions now are attacking each other and possibly even the Uber to distract them and keep myself and the mercenary from being attacked. Same could be said with confuse procking first, then life tap procking. I get the benefit for life tap being procced on everything, from the minis, Ubers, and their summons and minions. I get some good crowd control, while I still have life tap on the minis and the Ubers. For normal farming, this could be problematic. However, as shown in these runs, this actually benefits me greatly.
I can't.
In all honesty, because of how well the Act 5 mercenary was able to solo the Ubers to get his own torch using Last Wish in his run, I had no doubts that this run could be this smooth. Now, onto the Holy Fire mercenary setup. There is only one item changed compared to the last run. Instead of using Blood Gloves, he's going to be using Drax Gloves for the life tap proc, as mentioned before, to better the chances of a similar sense of survivability. He also lost some Crushing Blow, but he gained some open wounds. Here's the new stats for both. And lastly, here's a quick look over of the mercenary's gear, as well as his additional stats. Let's go through the Ubers now one more time to see how well this mercenary setup fares in comparison to the first one, and see if he's able to be able to get his own torch.
Looking for Baal.
afternoon.
My brothers will not have died in vain. My brothers will not have died in vain.
I definitely can feel the difference in survivability with this one compared to the prior run. Even with using the life type proc, this mercenary wasn't dealing the same damage from his attacks compared to the prior mercenary, so I had to keep a close eye on his health to try to keep him from dying. This mercenary surprised me with how well it can handle two of the Ubers in a fight together. Granted, Mephisto wasn't involved. Regardless, he handled himself well, and I didn't feel him to be so vulnerable this far into Uber Tristram. Unfortunately, Mephisto's fight was done behind a building, but in seeing that the mercenary was able to survive, I was pleasantly surprised with how well it can actually work in running Ubers. As I mentioned in the beginning, because I had prior compared the mercenary performances for farming, and now seeing how well they can work for farming Ubers, I'm hoping that these two videos together can help to show how well the variety of this game is in being able to accomplish the same things, but in different ways. Neither of these mercenaries are better than the other, as both runs were quite fast, both were also able to survive the entire run, with the first one able to supplement our survivability, while the second one added an additional source of damage to help counter different immunities. My bias for which one I prefer goes to the first mercenary because I've been used to playing that type of mercenary over the suggested Holy Fire version. However, in a prior run with the Holy Fire mercenary, he was able to fight both Baal and Diablo simultaneously from the start of each of their healths, and I was very surprised at how well he worked for me not to have to worry about his health in that moment. And despite the annoyance of Zeal's targeting not hyper-focusing on any one enemy, they both ended up going down without an issue, and that helped to open my eyes in reconsidering using him over my preferred mercenary. Unfortunately, in that run, he did die at Mephisto, that being the only reason that I didn't use that run over this full one that I showed here. But on the second try, he was able to survive Mephisto to be able to get a torch. Both mercenaries were great to use, and I really enjoyed testing them out for this video. And this video also served to check another video idea off of my list with running the TeslaDin in Uber Tristram, so a win-win-win all around. Which of these mercenary setups would you prefer to use? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this video down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for making it this far into the video, let alone checking it out. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you like this kind of content and want to see more, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to be notified whenever a new video comes out.
Come on. Come on. Come on, then. There you are. There you are.
And if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to leave it a like. Other than that, hope you're all staying safe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.